Hello, y'all. It's Mike from the Mike High Podcast, back with another one. Today, we're going to talk about the hottest rappers in New York City in the 90s. We started with 1 through 3. Today, we'll do 4 through 6. We start with DMX. DMX debuted in 1998 with It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200. Then in 1998, he came out again with Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Also debuted number 1 on Billboard's Top 200. Then he came back in 99 and released Then There Was X. Also debuted number 1 on Billboard 200. X was all over the mixtape scene in the 90s. He made appearances with the Mace, the Locks. Those are classic hook favorites. He also have mixtape appearances by himself. X was all over the music scene in the 90s from, say, 96 to 2000 and beyond. But we just focusing on the 90s right now. DMX would also release movies in the 90s. His hood classic Belly came out in 98 with Nas, which would go on and launch his movie career. DMX saved us from a shiny suit era. Puff had it locked in the 90s with glitzy rap. X came through dark and gritty, gruddy, changed the sound, image. You know what I mean? He wasn't with all the big gold chains and all of that. X kept it simple, kept it hood. You know what I mean? He was a stick-up kid, so that's how he carried himself. DMX would also be credited for saving Def Jam at this time. Def Jam was struggling financially, didn't have no acts that was selling. DMX came through with 3 number ones, selling 4 million, 3 million, respectively, and I believe there was X sold over 1 million. At that time, Def Jam had nobody who was moving units like that. So, to me, that's why DMX is number 4. Coming in at number 5 is Todd Smith, a.k.a. LL Cool J. Let me say this. First and foremost, LL is a pioneer. He came out in 85. He's been going strong ever since. He really made his mark in the 90s. He redefined his sound. He dropped Mama Said Knock You Out in 93. 94, he came out with 14 Shots to the Dome. In 95, he released Mr. Smith. His last debut of the 90s was a phenomenon that debuted in 1997. LL rap style has changed with the years, keeping him relevant. He didn't stay stuck in his battleground mode from when he first came into the industry. That's one of the reasons why he will always remain in a GOAT conversation, which is the first person to self-proclaim that status. LL is the one who put the GOAT into rap. That is a phrase Muhammad Ali came up with for boxing of himself. LL, being who he is, flashy and flamboyant, he took the moniker and ran with it for rap for himself. He proclaimed himself the greatest of all time. And then since then, you had everybody battling for the title. LL is a trendsetter, not afraid of making songs for the ladies. Some of his biggest hits was for the ladies. LL was in several movies in the 90s, with his most notable being Any Given Sunday in 1999, In Too Deep in 1999, Halloween H2O 20 years later. That also came out in 1999. Toys, the movie, came out in 92. And L was in plenty other movies. He's also been starring in the TV sitcom In the House. LL was real prominent in the 90s and he remained a prominent force in hip-hop to this day. That's why he will always be considered in the GOAT conversation. Number six, we have Mace. Mace came on the scene in the 90s. Mace came out on the mixtape scene. Mace was real heavy on the mixtape scene. That's how he got his buzz in the 90s. That's how we consumed our music mostly, mixtapes. And then if you was good on a mixtape, or if you had consistent hits on a mixtape, people would go and buy your album. So that's how people got to notice Mace. He was real big on the mixtape scene. And then he got with Bad Boy. And then Big started putting his name in rhymes. And the rest took off for itself. When Big passed away, rest well Big, Mace was considered next up from Bad Boy. The focus was Mace. Mace was the one who dropped in. Mace came out. It was Harlem World, which went on to sell 4 million records. Mace would also be heavily featured on Puff's album No Way Out in 97. In 99, he will release Double Up and introduce the world to Harlem World, which would introduce us to Loon and others. Mace also helped introduce Cam to the world on Horse and Carriage. Mace would retire from rap and go into ministry. Some criticize him for it. I'm kind of confused on it because Malice from the Clips would later do the same thing and be praised for it. Numerous New York rappers went at Mace for it, and other rappers, but mostly New York rappers, went at Mace for it. Those same rappers didn't have the same energy when Malice from the Clips changed his life around and went into the ministry. Malice then came back out later with another album with the same content. At least Mace has stayed consistent. He rarely does rap music. He's still into the church. His walk is of the church. And when he does the show with Cam, he tries to be careful of the message and the image he's putting out. You can be happy, mad, or sad, like or not like the way he left rap, but you cannot deny what he did in rap. And he was still one of the illest to do it. I don't know too many rappers today that can out-rap Mace. Like, rap is also what people are forgetting, an art form. So every word you say does not have to be true to a lifestyle you live. It has to be entertaining. That's what rap is. People need to get back to that. That's why Mace comes in at number 6 to me.